So I'm really excited to show you guys which speakers I ended up buying. I got these ones off eBay from a nice seller called Richard. I won the bid for £53, and then I met him a few days later at Beaconsfield Services. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Halfway between my house and his. A lovely man who had kept these speakers in really good nick. They're from the 1980s and they were award winners at the time. And the speakers that I purchased are the Tannoy Mercury M20s. I just loved the way these looked. The wood was very similar to the Toshiba wood, slightly more brownish colour, and I really like the little gold details that are on it. And I've always wanted a pair of tannoys. I actually saw new tannoys at the UK audio show a couple months ago, and I just really love the sound of them. I love how they look, and when I saw these, I won't lie to you, they are slightly bigger than I was expecting. Obviously I'd check the dimensions of them, but I didn't quite take into account how big they were going to be. I really do hope that they fit in my bedroom at home. They're counted more as like stand mount speakers than bookshelves. I don't have stands for them, so when I do get them in my bedroom, I'm gonna see if they fit. I hope they do fit. Now that I had the tannoy speakers, we had just been using a pair of speaker cables. They were the QED micro ones. We'd just been using those when we were testing the other elements of the Toshiba, but now I thought let's try some different speaker cables, see if upgrading to a slightly better speaker cable is worth it with this system. So the first one we did try was the QED silver micro. Now I wasn't too sure on this one, to be honest. The high frequencies were really piercing through for me, and I found on this track, Ain't No Sunshine, that we had on this roller disco LP, I found that the saxophone was kind of screeching. I didn't quite like the sound it was producing, to be honest. So we tried the AudioQuest G2 next. These ones are copper conductors. They've got a lot of copper conductors in them. We tried those, and I must say I really preferred this one. You could hear more depth, you could hear more of the percussions in the background of the song, and I really preferred this over the QED. Now we tried the Chord Leyline X. This has silver conductors and XLPE insulation, which is newer and far better insulation. So I was hoping that this would be an even further step up than the AudioQuest G2. However, when we put this in, I was having a similar feeling as I had with the QED Silver Micro. I was finding that the high frequencies were piercing through a bit too much, and I didn't quite like the sound. So I think I came to a conclusion in that moment that anything with silver conductors wasn't really working within this system. So we decided to step away from silver conductor cables and instead went back to copper and stuck with AudioQuest because I really enjoyed the AudioQuest G2. We thought we'd try the AudioQuest X2. Now the X2 was really good. It brought out a lot of detail, and the depth was really nice, and it was a lot of fun to listen to. The only difference really between the X2 and the G2 is the price. Now for me, it didn't make enough of a difference in sound between the X2 and the G2 for me to justify spending the extra money on the X2. So in the end, I decided to go for the AudioQuest G2. I wanted to do a little breakdown of how much all of this cost me putting together. Obviously, I was trying to make an affordable system and something obviously vintage. Now, the Toshiba cost me £29. The speakers cost me £53. The cartridge full retail price is £130, and the speaker cables are £28. So altogether that comes to exactly £240, which I thought was actually a very reasonable deal. And what I've got here is really good. Well, I really like it, and I'm really impressed with it for that price. A lot of entry-level modern equipment will start at £240, you know. Basic turntables, basic speakers, they're going to be hundreds of pounds as entry level. So I was really impressed that I managed to get this whole system together for £240. So now actually the most expensive part of this all was the cartridge, which is actually the smallest part of it all. But I am really happy that I chose a Gold Note, a cartridge. I could have gone for something cheaper, like the Audio Technica or other brands that are slightly cheaper. But for me, I really like the size of it because obviously it fits in the head shell. I like the colour because it's subtle, and I like the sound it produces. So I was really happy with that. I'm glad that I spent a bit more money on that side, but I definitely could have gone cheaper if I wanted to. The speakers I got for a really good deal. I've seen other people selling these speakers online for £100 minimum, so to get a pair for 53 I was really happy with. In terms of speaker cable, obviously I told you that we tested different kinds of speaker cables, and even more expensive ones like the Rocket 22 weren't making a significant enough difference for me to bother spending more money on that. So I'm happy with the £28 that I've spent on the speaker cables. So for me, it's not just about the price and the way it all looks. It's also been such a fun experience for me to put this all together, to fix up the Toshiba with Phil and my other colleagues, looking at all the inside, fixing it, doing the cartridge, doing the cassette deck, 3D printing things. This whole experience has been super duper fun, and I'm so glad I did it. And so not only does this look good and it was affordable, it's also been a really fun experience, and I have a lot of memories attached to this now. So I'm super excited to take it home, pop it in my room, have a listen to some records on it. So I'm super excited to take my whole system home, my speakers, my Toshiba, my cartridge and my speaker cables all home today. And over the weekend I'm going to test it in my room. Hopefully it sounds good, hopefully it fits in my room. I'm slightly concerned that the speakers might be a little too big, but we'll see. I just want to say I have had so much fun putting this series together for everybody, and for everyone commenting and liking and subscribing to our channel. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot from all of your comments, and I really appreciate everyone getting involved and for taking the time to give us advice.